KTN News. Get the whole story.
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the phone lines and our first caller, Dixon Ulwoch from Kisia. Very good afternoon to you, Dixon. What do you have to say about today's discussion?
Good afternoon, Fred.
Good afternoon, Dixon. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start from nomination issues, Fred. There's nothing like nomination, free, fair nomination in Kenya. Let's admit it. IBC needs 41 billion to conduct free and fair election with already infrastructures. How do you expect parties to carry such kind of a free and fair nomination? Let's not cheat ourselves. Let's not behave as if we are only visitors in Jerusalem. Okay. For example, when Peter Anyang' Nyong'o was the SD for ODM, the man was busy building the party during those days when he was the MP for Kisumu Rural. That party had to intervene so that he could retain his seat because he was busy building the party so that we can have ODM. My county where I come from, Homa Bay, we have got Wanga, we have got Mbadi, we have got Kidero, we have got Magwanga. Fallout B, whoever is chosen automatically will serve the people. They cannot serve the people at a go. Why do we cheat ourselves, you guys, the so-called analysts? Because at the end of the day, the popular candidate, Sonko and Waititu, they were the will of the people, as Dismas and Tumbi are saying. What happened? Nomination aside, going to UDA and DC.
Okay.
Surely, there's something called Office of the Reserve Political Parties. Why don't this office help us secure almost 100 billion from all those who resigned from their parties? The taxman can write so that these people can no longer be paid because they're... Fred, can you work for NTV and work for KTN?
It's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Yeah. But somebody's in Jubilee, somebody's in... Because for you to participate in NDC, you must have resigned. You must be serving in a same political party.
Okay,
where
Dixon,
are our lawyers?
Thank you so much. I've gotten your point. Thank you so much for your contribution. Let's get Dr. Mukiri Wagidendo from Moranga. Good afternoon, Daktari. Kindly share with us your opinion about the discussion today.
Thank you, Dimudi, and welcome back to the program. We missed you.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
If I start with the NDC of UDA, Ruto cannot eat cake and have it. You cannot separate yourself from Jubilee administration while you are still the DP. The more he attacks his boss for choosing Raila, the more Kenyans will understand why he was not picked for a successor by the president. No president anywhere in the world will reward rebellion and insubordination. So going to Gatondo to insult President Kenyatta will have serious consequences and is counterproductive. On Azimio, the coalition that Kalonzo joined cannot join with another coalition called OKA legally. So what Kalonzo signed for was his party wiper entering into Azimio. We need to see Kalonzo start campaigning for Raila instead of being a critic of the coalition he's joining. Being a watermelon or kupita katikati does not work these days. Let him abandon whining and start working the hard work of campaigning for Raila, because we saw him saying Raila Tosha. On the nominations, all nominations should be open and democratic, and those who are given direct nominations, it should be based on scientific evidence, maybe some polling that has shown that the the key players, but we can avoid fallout by making sure that the parties consider the background of these candidates. We do not want crooks or those with myriads of criminal issues in the view of Chapter 6 to be nominated, because they could be later challenged. Direct nominations, as I said, has to be based on gender, the loyalty, which is verifiable, and this has to be done consultatively and very much carefully. Otherwise, there will be a lot of fallout.
Thank you.
Those were my views, Dimuli, and thank you very much for...
Thank you, Dr. Mukiri Wagidendo from Muranga. And our last caller this afternoon, Fred Langat from Naivasha. Good afternoon, Fred. Go ahead.
Good afternoon to you, Fred.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I want to touch on a few issues quickly, starting with the UDA and DC. What I saw there, like... Deputy President now wants to provoke the President, and I can see that he is now taking a very dangerous route. If he wants to be the President, he needs to remain humble from now until August, when we shall have elections. But if he continues insulting the President and answering President the way he has been doing, I'm sure that people from Mount Kenya will make a U-turn, and you may be surprised that Azimio will come even 70% vote from Mount Kenya. And then the issue of Azimio Oka One Kenya land, for me, I have seen that it has been marked by propaganda, and it does not have truth neither here or there. Because when you look at the Azimio One Kenya Alliance, whatever, I don't think that thing exists according to the law. What I know is that there is no coalition between two coalitions. So it's like some people are perpetuating propaganda so that they can create a perception, so that people can see that the Azimio and One Kenya is going to split very soon. And then finally, the issue of nomination. Okay. There are several methods of conducting nomination. And these big parties should be very careful, because especially in an area where a party is popular, for me, I prefer a direct ticket rather than universal coverage, whereby people will fight, people will destroy ballot papers, and that one will taint the good name of a party. So I think the best thing in a region where there is high popularity in a party, they can use things like opinion polls, clanism. Those are the things that cannot lie. If there are 3 clans in a region, you consider, if we give this person a direct ticket, this person is likely to win. So I want to encourage people to consider also candidates who come from small parties and independent, because these big parties can have a lot of corruption. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you so much, Fred Langat, our last caller this afternoon. And now I want to give my panelists an opportunity to give their final comments, 1.5 minutes for each. Let's start with you, Dismas.
Thanks a lot. In August, we are going to elect 1,930 officials. And it's very disheartening that 2 of the callers are victims of the Stockholm Syndrome. They've fallen in love with their captor. They're excusing party leaders who intend to give direct tickets. They're excusing party leaders who intend to step on democracy. This is the kind of voter that if a party leader does a mistake, they actually say Hail Mary and they say that's a right decision. We must have the courage to call out political party leaders. We must have the courage to tell them that it's not going to be business as usual. And especially for the 47 positions for the governors in Kenya, because it's now come as a reality that devolution is a key success factor for Kenya's political stability and economic stability. We cannot have what happened in Nairobi, where party leaders told us that this gentleman we're giving you, he doesn't have managerial skills, but we're going to give him a running mate with management experience. So I'm asking Mura Wanjiko, Nafula, wherever they are, when they look at the list of the people who want to become governors, they must look at their managerial experience, they must look at their track record of success, and if they're going to be given a lot of money to confuse them under these goodies, let them eat the money, but they vote for leaders with a track record of success, management experience, somebody who understands the county's aspirations and will take to the next level. If they don't do that, then we'll keep on wallowing in a miasma of poverty, mediocrity, and corruption.
Okay, thank you, Dismas. Wakili Ken.
Thank you. In this session today, the trust of one Raila Amolo Odinga has been on trial. But what I want to make it clear is that Raila has been betrayed more than he has betrayed. We all know the 2002 MOU between Raila Amolo Odinga and Mwai Kibaki. He came out as a man who had been betrayed. Thereafter, it is true Raila has entered pacts with political leaders, but Raila has never seized power to be able to implement the contents of the MOUs and agreements that they have entered. Looking at the other side of the coin, William Ruto was expelled by Moi from his political party and political ideologies. William Ruto was divorced by Raila Odinga in the ODM government. When Kibaki retained William Ruto, at the tail end of the government, Kibaki divorced William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta has divorced William Ruto. That draws to the conclusion that whereas we are accusing Raila Odinga on matters of political trust, William Ruto has been the most problematic political spouse that political leaders have ever married. And I'm sympathizing with my brother Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi being the latest entrants in this political marriage with William Ruto.
Okay, Kenneth, just very interesting opinions there. Dennis, give us your views.
Thank
Final
you very
thoughts.
much. I think two paramount things that we need to address is that we are asking the president to retire peacefully. We understand his democratic right as a person to endorse another candidate, but we're asking him to look at national unity. As long as he continues to favor one side undemocratically as a president, he will then upset national unity. Number two, Raila Odinga remains a project, and he will be a state project for personal reasons that are borne by one family at the end of the day. Number three is that, as my colleague has said, is that Raila Odinga has betrayed. He is the poster man of betrayal in this country. There is no one who can trust Raila Odinga with any agreement. And Azimio will go the way all other coalitions that have been headed by Raila Odinga will go, the way of betrayal. And we can't have that kind of architecture to be the one that designs the future of this country. We have to reject traitors and people who basically have demonstrated not to be truthful or partakers of truth. On the other hand, when you look at William Ruto, his experience in governance, he has never betrayed anybody whatsoever. And he has a contract with the people, the hustlers, the commoner, the mamamboga, the person who's pushing wheelbarrow, the boda rider, to then usher in a new Kenya that you don't have to be asked, what is the name of your father? How many acreages do you own? Or what is your bank statement? That is the kind of nation we want, a nation that respects Article 10.2 and a nation that has proper hygiene when it comes to governance. And that is what we're asking Kenyans to focus on, a brand new Kenya that gets rid of betrayers and people who basically don't respect or don't have hygiene to keep promises. A new Kenya that will put money in the pocket.
Finally, Hezbon Owila, your final thoughts.
I think I had my final thoughts, but I think Dennis has changed my mind. If anyone thinks that by the president making a choice in this election, he's going to interfere with the peaceful elections, then they must be living in another country and they don't understand the realities of what is happening in this country. Number two, the choice that the president has made and the choices that all the other politicians have made are now clear in the public. We know guys who've gone to Kenya Kwanza, we know guys who've gone to Azimio, we know where the president is and he has pronounced himself. What will cause us problem in the lead up to the 2022 general election is not the choices that they've made, but the utterances that they are making. If you are in Kenya Kwanza, there are some people who are in Azimio Whether Raila is going to be remote controlled or not, they've already made that choice. If you are in Azimio, whether the other grouping is made up of thieves, made up of tribal bigots or whatever, there are Kenyans who've made up their choice to stick with them. What we expect these two teams to do is not to attack each other. We had very savage attacks over the last couple of days when people start invoking cultural practices. I never saw any Kenyan ask any non-Luo why they are seeking leadership and they don't have 6 of their teeth removed. So that is a non-issue, and it is very unfortunate to have politicians talk about that.
Okay.
Let us respect the choices that people have made, and let us call of our politicians to articulate issues and stop attacking each other.
Thank you, Hesbon. Thank you, my panelists, Hesbon Owila, Dennis Ntumbi, Dismas Mukua, and Kenneth Chesa, helping us discuss the issues, the big headlines in politics this past week, and looking forward to the next week and coming days. It is a very busy week politically, with the party nominations kicking off as early as tomorrow. Well, my name is Fred Ndimule. This has been Inside Politics. Remember, the conversation continues online using the hashtag Inside Politics on Twitter at KTN News KE is our Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is at Fred Ndimule. Good afternoon. Let's do this again next Sunday.